welcome back to Food Prep Guide. We have a quick video today on just two pressure canning tips. They're actually kind of answers to questions that have been coming in. This is the traditional stovetop pressure canner, and the two big questions that I have seen over and over again is one, what does a steady stream of steam look like? Like, how do we know when to start our timer to vent it for 10 minutes? That is a crucial first step when pressure canning, so I'm going to show you that, give you a visual demonstration. And then more importantly, well, not maybe more importantly, but more involved is how do we know when our weight is jiggling enough? How do we know that it's either too much pressure, too little pressure, or the Goldilocks just right? That is kind of nuanced, and talking about it can be helpful, but seeing it is really what sealed the deal for me and helped me to understand it from that point on. And I hope that this video will do that for you today. Let's get to it.
By the way, if you would like help building your food storage, scroll down to the description box of this video and click this link for our free 1-year food storage plan. We calculated a year's supply of food for one person, then broke that data down into a week-by-week list of items to build your pantry on a budget. We'll send it straight to your inbox. If you're new here, we invite you to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss all of our upcoming food preservation, pantry storage, and gardening tutorials. Now back to the kitchen.
So we're not quite there yet, but we are very close to seeing steam come out of the vent pipe. Now, as soon as steam starts coming out, it's still not quite ready. You can see it's starting to sputter. It's this stem right here. That's called the vent pipe. As soon as the steam starts coming out, we don't necessarily start our timer just yet. We need to wait until it is a strong, steady stream of steam. So when we are probably maybe 5-ish minutes away from that, so I will bring you back when it's ready. Okay, I wanted to show you at this stage, you can hear the steam. You can hear it sputtering. Hear that? And you can see that the water droplets are really starting to push out there, but it is still not ready because this is more like water sputtering and not actually steam. So I just wanted to give you a visual of what it looks like when it's almost there, but not quite yet. Okay, we are there. I'm going to be quiet for just a minute so you can really hear the steam. You hear how it's not sputtering at all, but it is just a straight, steady psh type noise. Now, if you are like me and your background is like white, it can be hard to see the steam. Like, I can't even see the steam right now. So what you can do, you don't want to put your hand over that vent pipe because, well, it is steam and it'll burn you. But what you can do is take a piece of paper like what I have here and really high up put it over. And you will see that piece of paper blowing. See that? So this is the point at which we would set our timer for 10 minutes before we move on to the next phase of canning. Sometimes I do this on my kitchen timer, sometimes I do it on my phone, but this is the stage that we would set the canner and let it vent for 10 minutes. Okay, it has been 10 minutes, so now I'm going to put on my weight, and then I'll wait to talk until after it's a lot more quiet in here. Okay, I'm going to turn down my heat just a little bit. Okay, I'm sorry for the noise, but there's really no way around this. So let me show you what it looks like when the pressure is too high for my elevation. So I'm below 1,000 feet above sea level. So my pounds per pressure, or PSI, is 10. Now if I look over here at this gauge, you will see that I am slightly above 10, and I don't need to be. But more importantly and more accurately is the constant noise that this weight is making and the constant movement that it's making. It should not be doing this constantly. This is what it looks like when your canner is too high of pressure. So we remedy this by turning down the heat I'm going to turn it down to 4, and then I will be back when it is at the proper sound and jiggling for proper pressure canning level from my elevation. Okay, I don't know if you can tell, but it is starting to quiet down and it is starting to not jiggle quite as much, but we are still not at that sweet spot yet. So I wanted to just give you a quick clip to show you it is still slightly over pressure. And the way we know that is because it is constantly jiggling. And I'll be back again when it comes down and I will show you what that sweet spot looks like. Okay, we are at the sweet spot and let's chat about how we know. Right now it is jiggling pretty much constantly, but in just a few seconds, oh, there it goes, it will shut off. And here's what we're going to do. I'm going to hit a timer, a stopwatch on my phone. When you hit the sweet spot of your pounds of pressure in your canner, you will know because your weight will jiggle approximately 2 to 3 times a minute. You want to go somewhere between 20 to 25 to 30 seconds in between. Okay, stop. See how it's going again? We were right at 20 seconds. So I'm going to keep the camera on the weight and show you how it jiggles and moves and how you hear that now it's stopped. I'm going to hit start again. It should pick back up again somewhere between the 20-second, 25-second, or 30-second mark. Here it goes starting, and that's fine. Because, like I said, it can be anywhere from 2 to 3 times per minute. I'm going to hit start again. Whoops, let me clear it. Hit start again. Stop. Oh, I'm hitting lap. There we go. I was hitting the wrong one. Okay, I'm going to have to do it later. I'm going to have to do it on the next round. Let me get it reset and make sure we're good to go. So I'll start the timer as soon as it starts spewing again. Okay. Let's just watch and see how long it goes in between spurts of steam. Okay, right around 16 seconds. So if we were to multiply that by 3, we are going to end up being around 3 times per minute. You can go as low as 2 times per minute up to 4 times per minute. But you want your weight to cycle between jiggling and being still between 2 to 4 times per minute. Now, if this seems really like finicky and hard to get just right, and you're thinking, I don't know about this, I don't know if pressure canning is for me, please know that you really only have to do this 1 or 2 times before you're right at 20 seconds. Perfect. You only have to do this 2 to 3 times before you find the sweet spot number on your particular oven. And that's what you need to know. Now, of course, you're going to have to bring your canner up to pressure every single time that you can. But once you do the 10 minutes of venting, you're going to find that sweet spot on your oven. On mine, it is barely above the 3. And I know that after I vent for 10 minutes, I need to lower my heat from high down to just above 3. And that is my sweet spot. So I don't have to sit here and babysit it the whole time. I don't have to go through this big long test every single time I can. And you won't either. You will find the sweet spot on your canner. Now, this All-American model has both a weighted gauge and a regular gauge, the dial gauge, excuse me. So we can see it is at 10 psi, and that's where I need to be for being below 1,000 feet elevation. So this is just like a double check that's letting me know that, hey, this is check number 1, this is check number 2, we're good to go, we are at 10 psi. Just a note that the weighted gauge is more accurate than a dial gauge. If you have a pressure canner that is only a dial gauge, you do need to get that recalibrated and checked at your local county extension office at least every other year. A lot of people recommend every single year before you start your big summer canning session to get that recalibrated. But if you have a weighted gauge, which I highly, highly recommend, that's never going to lie to you. This is going to be accurate no matter what. So I highly recommend going for the weighted gauge. Okay, so I have I've actually turned the heat completely off on my oven to hopefully that won't be spewing so loudly to where you can't hear me. But also, it will also demonstrate as the heat comes down, it will demonstrate what a pressure canner sounds like and what the weight jiggling action looks like when your canner is not at the proper pressure yet. When it's not at the proper pressure yet for your elevation, you will have very long spurts between jiggling. You need to jiggle, that weight needs to jiggle, like I said, between 2 to 4 times per minute. So if you're going 1, 2, 3 minutes between each spurt and each jiggle, you're not at the right pressure yet. And as you can see, I've been talking to you for about a minute and it has not kicked on yet. It has not kind of started jiggling and spewing yet. That's because it is slowly losing pressure and it is slowly coming down off of heat and slowly getting to that point where it's not enough pressure in the pressure canner. One other thing that I wanted to note is the other style of weight is it looks a little bit different. So I'm going to pull that up on my phone because many of you probably may have that other style of weight. I want to show you what it looks like, and I want to show you, talk about what the rocking action looks like. Okay, here is what other styles of weights look like. If you have a different pressure canner, I'm sure you recognize it. You can see it looks a whole lot different than mine. But this type of weight moves in a different manner. It moves in the hula girl dance, which I'm sure if you have that type of canner, I'm sure you've heard that term. But just in case anyone is new to canning and you're just kind of in the research phase, think about those little plastic hula girl dolls that people put on the dashboards of their car, and as they drive, it hula dances. This is what that type of weight will do. It will hula dance on top. Instead of jiggling, it will do this rocking motion. And it's similar, it's very similar to what I showed you with this. If it is rocking super fast and she looks like she's just gonna hula her skirt right off, then it's too high of a pressure and you need to take it down. If she's not rocking at all, you're not at pressure yet. You want a steady hula dance that is, you know, just the rate of a hula dancing girl, and that is how you know you have hit this sweet spot on your pressure canner. Like I said, please, please, please don't let this scare you away and making you think the pressure canner is super involved. Like I said, yes, you have to bring your canner up to pressure every time, but you will only have to really do this particular process of timing and getting all those increments just right. You only have to do that 1 or 2 times before you know what temperature setting your particular oven needs to be on for your particular canner. Okay, y'all, I hope those visual demonstrations were helpful to you. If you still have any questions, please drop them in the comment section below, and I will do my absolute best to answer them personally, but I will also plan a pressure canning Q&A session soon. That's all for today, and we'll see you next time. Bye!